We're going to talk to, correct me if it's wrong, is it Marcia calling in from Arizona?
Marcia.
Marcia. Hey, Marcia, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Cool. Well, what can we help you with today?
Well, I heard you talking about ghosts.
Yes.
And when I was a kid, I went to a very fundamentalist Christian church. I'm an atheist now.
Okay.
But I went to a very fundamentalist Christian church. And when I was in third grade, our third grade Sunday school teacher read us this book, something like Escape from Witchcraft. And it was full of demons and ghosts and just these terrifying things for third graders. We were all mortified. And our church was telling us these things are true. And, if you're not right with God, these ghosts and these demons are going to get you.
Oh, my God. That is awful. You were in third grade and they were telling you this?
Third grade, yeah.
Oh, my God. That is just, I'm sorry. That's child abuse. That is child abuse. Yeah. If you're telling people, if you're telling kids, hey, this is a boogeyman that's real and is going to hurt you unless you do certain things. I mean, that's just, it's so wrong. That is so wrong. And I understand, this teacher probably believed it on some level, right? Otherwise, why would they bring it up in the classroom? But sometimes I've met other teachers.
Sure, they totally believed it. And
yeah,
it was Sunday school. I mean, it was just super fundamentalist, Church of God. I don't know if you know what the Church of God is.
Yes, I'm aware of Church of God, and it doesn't surprise me that this story is coming from a Church of God. To be honest with you, but I am lucky in that my Christian upbringing, demons wasn't really a thing that ever came up. But if it was, it would probably scare the hell out of me. I mean, I was already kind of freaked out about ghosts as a kid, but that was because I was watching True TV and all these ghost shows and stuff on there, right? If a Christian leader, somebody who was supposed to inform me about what my faith means and what the religion that I supposedly was a believer in, I was a believer in, what's supposed to be a part of that faith, rather, and saying oh yeah, this is in the cosmology, there's demons and they're going to get you. I don't know what that would do to me in my psyche, but it would change me. I would be freaked out. I would have a different view of the world. So I'm glad that you've escaped that now.
When I was a kid, and for years after being at that church, I couldn't sleep with a door open because I was terrified I was going to see a burning demon or ghosts coming toward me. Trying to remember some of the other things. And, since I left Christianity, I have gotten over all of this except one weird thing that has just lingered. And I know it's completely ridiculous, but if I am in a dark room, I cannot look into a mirror more than a few seconds.
Yeah.
And I know it's silly. It's just ridiculous. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in demons. I don't believe in any of that. But I still can't do that. And it just seems so ridiculous to me.
Yep.
But that is a common thing, though. When I was a kid, it was the Bloody Mary thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right? It's you go in the mirror in the dark, and if you say Bloody Mary 3 times, supposedly Bloody Mary appears in the mirror and tries to kill you. I remember trying to do this in my bathroom, and of course, I think I was too scared to even do it. It's only because, we're used to seeing ourselves in the mirror and stuff, and when it's dark and you can't see it, and you just have a figure there, it kind of looks like somebody else, and you may not recognize yourself right away. And so I think that's kind of the explanation I've heard as to why this particular phenomenon is a thing, because it seems to be a common thing. People get scared in front of mirrors. Why are mirrors in particular so freaky? And that makes sense. Yeah.
It just seems so crazy to me, just so ridiculous to me, because I'm almost 60 years old. I mean, this was in third grade, and it's just the strangest thing. And I know it all comes from that Sunday school teacher, that church, being told those things. Just, oh.
You know what, Marcia? Up until very recently, and probably still recently, whenever I heard like a loud train noise or any like really loud noise outside, I thought the second coming was here, because there's supposed to be, the trumpet call, right? When everything kind of goes to shit, biblically speaking. And like it was because I read the Left Behind books when I was a kid. In my elementary school class, they had a little library for the kids to read stuff, and the Left Behind books were there. And I didn't know what these books were, and I read them, and that's when I figured out about, the sort of end times apocalypse of Christianity, and that freaked me out. I remember like coming home, I was like a latchkey kid, older, and I'd come home and I'd see clothes laid out on the couch or chair, and I thought, oh my God, my parents were here, but they were taken up in the rapture. Like that was a thing that affected me for a long time. Super long time. But you know what, like that, there is nothing to be ashamed of, because it was because of the abuse that you and I experienced with that. I mean, that is just, it's awful. That is awful, because that is it's a trauma that was inflicted on us, that because what's a better way to explain it if we're still experiencing that as adults, right? I mean, it's absurd.
Right.
And it's awful. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a trauma. It was a huge trauma to me.
Yeah. And it's not fair, because we're kids, and we're defenseless, and we don't know any better. We don't know how the world works. And these adults are telling us different things. And I cannot forgive somebody that does that to a kid. Even if they sincerely believe it. Guess what? I guarantee, Marcia, your entire life, you never saw any witches, did you? You never saw any demons, but like that. No, but that fear was still with you. And that's, Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. As a kid, I never saw one of them, but I was certain they were lurking around the other side of the door.
Yeah, I'm sure. Bridget, I was talking a lot. Go ahead.
No, all I had to say was I didn't have any of that type of indoctrination growing up. And for you guys to still have those experiences into your adulthood and everything, and still have that kind of reaction that you can't control. I had none of it, and I still believed in ghosts. So, I mean, it just goes to show you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. We all believe things for, I don't know. It's like almost like we're programmed to believe. We're back to the apophenia again, huh?
It's true. And like this goes back to a reason that was hard for me to leave the belief. For me, like if I was being honest at the end of the day, one of the things holding me back, not the soul thing. I think maybe it's a soul thing for some people, but one thing for me was the fear of hell. It was the fear of consequences for identifying as an atheist, for kind of disavowing my belief. And I've told this story before. The week before I kind of came out as an atheist and talked about that publicly on the internet, I was having a consistent nightmare. This happened to me about 3 times, and I woke up in a sweat where I thought the end of the world was coming, and like a bomb was going to go off in some of these dreams, and I had the choice between believing in God so I can go to heaven, or just evaporating into nothingness. This is and that I was only having those nightmares not because of some spiritual presence was haunting my brain and trying to convince me to believe in God again, but because I had anxiety that was built up over years and years and years of indoctrination.
Yep, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. And I can be confident of that because people of other religious traditions say the same exact thing. You don't have to be a Christian to have that. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just how you're raised.
Yeah. My heart goes out to you, Marcia. I'm sorry this is still affecting you. But I hope talking about it right now is helping you through it a little bit at least. Because it's just people trying to scare you for no good reason. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I kind of called because, I wanted to say, to other people, if you're in one of those churches that does those things, this is what you're doing to your children. And you need to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I take no sympathy for people who do this, only because, again, even if you sincerely believe it, look, there's demonstrably no consequences other than bad ones that come from this stuff. You know, hey, if there's demons out there, let the kid find the demon. Honestly, let them find it. Let them figure that out. Don't tell them that there's demons. I like, you know,
Right.
like if it's a thing, they'll figure it out. You don't have to scare them with nonsense that's not going to, you know, benefit them in any positive way whatsoever. But anyway, Marcia, thanks so much for calling. We're going to go ahead and go to another caller. I hope this was therapeutic for you in some sense. It was for me. I'm glad I got to rant about this for a bit, because
Thanks,
sucks.
Marcia.
Yeah, it sucks. I hate that this is a thing that still happens.
I know.
Still happens.